Hello, everybody. This is going to be the initial episode of Lambda Talks. It's going to be a series that I'm going to be doing whilst attending a curriculum/course, which is the full stack web development course of Lambda School. So this is going to be a full-time Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's 8 to 5 Pacific. I'm not entirely too sure. So we just went over orientation today, and it's pretty standard how the curriculum is set up. I do like how there's extra reinforcements in there. So they have certain stages and also programs within the course that you can do that would definitely enhance and reinforce your skills. And I believe this is due to the longer length of the school curriculum compared to other boot camps. So let's see here. I went to General Assembly, which is a 3-month in-person boot camp in Washington, D.C., here on the East Coast. And so with that boot camp, we kind of just power through things and use what we learn, pick up, and show what is the current state of our skill sets by the results of what we're able to output. And we weren't able to have some of these here reinforcement programs, so the shorter time length and completing multiple concepts and teaching us like the base fundamentals all the way to SPAs to MVP frameworks and ORMs, etc. It doesn't entirely give us enough time. However, with Lambda School, the longevity of the course lasting over a span of 9 months for the planned course, plus extra classes, that would be like the curriculum after you are graduated. We'll probably dig into that later once I get a closer look at it. So everything is pretty standard on orientation day. This is Friday, August 2nd, before the start day, Monday, which is August 5th. It's pretty standard, it's basic, just overlook of the curriculum, and they show us some do's and don'ts, rules, community, and how we should behave and respect one another, and how we can also plan to do meetups and connect with people. And that there is probably going to be the most important aspect that you want to focus on if you are a new person to web development or development in general, or you're new to the program or any other bootcamp, because actually I will mention going to General Assembly and doing other curriculums like Udacity's front-end web development curriculum. You're going to have a very rare chance to be able to connect and create connections. Once you get busier and busier after you graduate, you're going to go ahead and do a lot of hardcore studying at the same time, building apps and projects to show up off of your resume and your portfolio, and at the same time job hunting. You gotta make sure you're job hunting head on about 80% of the time, 20% coding to stay relevant. And sometimes it's hard to just build the meaningful connections with people who are coding, and you really want to have that in your head initially, because it's really important to, one, create a environment immersing yourself into this here new skill-based set of skills that you're going to be obtaining. Because one, people really look for pure programming experience, and not everybody is always able to say that in the interviews. So it's very valuable to know that you have experience working with other people on coding projects and how well you work with them. And other pointers too is that you can learn from other people even if they have more or less experience from you in coding. The level of knowledge and ever learning in coding or programming in general is going to be everlasting. Literally, there's a alumni weekly thing in General Assembly when I was attending. There was a senior developer, JavaScript developer, who came over here and was like, "Hey, look, bro, I have 10 plus years experience working with JavaScript, and I still pull out my phone to look up on mdn.org or W3 Schools to look at some of the sometimes basic methods to some of the data structures. Nobody can really always obtain and quickly reference something in coding that much, because the limit is limitless when it comes to learning JavaScript. and that can go to be the same with any other language too. And really, once you learn the core concept of JavaScript that can translate over to other languages, you would be learning this pretty easily. Like, for example, object-oriented programming. Once you pick that up, and you are going to see that concept correlate and transfer to other languages as well. It's gonna be a good ride. I always said in my first boot camp, and I spoke with other people who were like, "Hey, if you guys were able to do a boot camp again, would you ever do it?" I'll be like, "Hell yeah, bro!" Like, boot camp was fun. So that's another aspect to look at this here, is that it's a lot of fun, especially with the people that you connect with, you have fun with, if you're really into this, especially creating projects, learning to be really good at web development. There's a lot that this program seems to be offering. If there was anything else that I would make note of on orientation day, is that they also briefly talked about imposter syndrome, and really that's something that's going to be talked about a lot. It's going to be a little bit more in depth about it from your instructors and TLs or team leads. And they're going to constantly remind you about it every now and then. Because even experienced web developers who have industry experience within the business and the field of the tech industry, some of them still have the possibility of dealing with imposter syndrome. Because like I mentioned earlier, lifelong learning. You cannot master JavaScript just like that. You can always expect to always learn something more. If you go and look at JavaScript proposals, there's multiple stages to this, like the spread operator. For example, in classes is going to, I believe it's a proposal where you're no longer going to need to use the ES6 plugin to use spreads properly in JavaScript for classes, I believe. I forgot. It's been a while. I was working on a project, but there was an issue where I was using spread operators more fluidly because of an ES6 plugin. There's also the proposal for this.bind within classes inside the constructor. I think that is also what I proposal as well, just to make writing classes a little bit more fluent and convenient as well. I'm not entirely too sure. I saw all of this about like 3 months ago, so I'll probably give that like another checkup in a bit. But yeah, so this is pretty much orientation. It was about an hour long. It's just basic stuff, getting to know people and how the structure is going to be. Day 1 is going to be within 2 days, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if this video series is going to be Fridays mainly, but I will be trying to figure out a schedule for this. It's probably going to be somewhere like Saturday or Sunday nights. Probably be easier, especially knowing the fellow classmates are going to be studying Monday through Friday, so it'll probably be easier to release this on the weekends if I were to be considerate of the classmates who probably would tune in on this as well. And also some people who might want to join in the podcast and, give a little bit of time and content, discuss, and see what we can provide for everybody. Other than that, is your boy Kuza about to go ahead and log out, work this shift for tomorrow, and after that, and then the next day we'll go ahead and get ready for class. Y'all take it easy, man. Peace.